In the heart of Merryworth, a town long forgotten by the hands of joy and laughter, stood a house as old as the tales of the town itself. This house, with its creaky floors and dust-laden windows, was home to young Ellie and her grandmother, the last keepers of stories in a place where stories had faded into silence. Ellie, a girl with an insatiable curiosity and a heart bigger than the gloom that shrouded Merryworth, found solace in her grandmother's attic. It was a treasure trove of relics from a bygone era, each with its own tale, whispering secrets of the past. It was here, amidst the shadows and whispers, that Ellie's fingers brushed against the cold frame of an ornately crafted mirror, hidden beneath a veil of cobwebs and forgotten memories. This mirror, unlike the others that merely reflected the world in its unadorned truth, held an aura of warmth that seemed to beckon Ellie closer. It was as if the mirror knew her, understood her, and yearned to share its secrets. With gentle hands, Ellie wiped away the years of neglect, revealing a surface that shimmered with an ethereal glow, not reflecting the attic's gloom, but glowing with an inner light of its own. Intrigued and slightly bewildered, Ellie peered into the mirror, expecting to meet her own gaze. Instead, the glass rippled like the surface of a tranquil pond, and a scene began to unfold within its depths. It was a memory, clear and vivid, of a sun-drenched day filled with laughter and the comforting embrace of her parents, a day when happiness was as abundant as the air she breathed. The warmth that radiated from the memory engulfed Ellie, filling her with a joy she hadn't felt since those carefree days. It was a stark contrast to the melancholy that had draped over Merryworth like a heavy cloak, a town where smiles were as rare as the blooming of a winter rose. Compelled by a newfound purpose, Ellie descended from the attic, the mirror cradled in her arms like a precious jewel. She knew this wasn't a treasure meant to be hidden away, but a gift that needed to be shared. The magic of the mirror, she felt, was not in its gilded frame or its off-worldly glow, but in its power to reignite the flames of joy and warmth in the hearts of those who had forgotten what it felt like to smile genuinely. As word of the mirror's magic spread, a spark of curiosity began to ignite within the townsfolk of Merryworth. Skepticism was soon replaced by wonder as one by one, they stepped before the mirror, their reflections giving way to memories drenched in happiness and love. The mirror did not discriminate. It peeled back the layers of time and sorrow, revealing moments of pure, unadulterated joy that lay hidden in the hearts of its viewers. Ellie watched as hardened faces softened, as eyes that had long forgotten how to shine, sparkled with unshed tears of happiness. The mirror became a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in a world that seemed perpetually shrouded in shadows, there existed moments of light, bright and blinding in their beauty. The transformation of Merryworth was gradual but undeniable. Conversations began to bloom like flowers after a spring rain, mending the fissures that had fragmented the community. Old grievances were forgotten, replaced by shared laughter and stories of the memories the mirror had awakened. The town square, once desolate and silent, became a tapestry of life and color, a testament to the mirror's magic. As the day of the communal gathering dawned, a palpable sense of anticipation hung in the air, as thick as the morning mist that rolled over Merryworth's cobblestone streets. The townsfolk, their faces alight with a joy long thought extinct, congregated in the square, their eyes fixed on the draped silhouette of the mirror. Ellie, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and nervousness, stepped forward. With a flourish, she pulled away the cloth, expecting the mirror to reveal its magic to all. But as the fabric fell, a hush descended over the crowd, the kind of silence that presses down, heavy and tangible. The mirror, their beacon of hope, lay in pieces, its magic seemingly shattered with its glass. A collective gasp escaped the crowd, a sound laced with despair and disbelief. Ellie's heart sank as she watched the faces around her, the light of joy quickly fading into the shadows of doubt. But as the initial shock subsided, something remarkable began to unfold. Amidst the fragments of the mirror, small shards still shimmered with the faint glow of memories. The townsfolk, drawn by an inexplicable force, began to gather the pieces, each shard a keeper of their happiest moments. It became evident that the mirror's magic had never been about the reflections it cast, but the reflections it sparked within each person. The joy, the laughter, and the sense of community that the mirror had rekindled in Merryworth were not bound to its existence. The mirror had merely been a catalyst, a reminder of the beauty and warmth that life held, waiting to be rediscovered. Merryworth, once a town cloaked in gloom, was now a mosaic of joy and unity. Ellie, with the help of her friends and neighbors, created a beautiful installation in the town square from the mirror's fragments. Each piece, though broken, glimmered with the undiminished memories of joy, a testament to the resilience of happiness and the enduring power of community. In the heart of Merryworth stood not just a monument of glass and memories, but a beacon of hope, a symbol that even in our darkest moments, the capacity for joy, for love, and for togetherness remains unbroken, waiting to be awakened. The days following Ellie's discovery of the mirror were filled with a quiet anticipation, a sensation akin to the stillness that blankets the world before the first flurries of winter. She spent hours in the attic, the mirror her only company, watching as it unveiled memories so vivid they made her heart swell and ache in equal measure. It was during one of these solitary vigils, as the sun dipped below the horizon and cast a golden glow through the attic window, that Ellie's resolve solidified. The magic of the mirror, this miraculous window to joyous pasts, was too precious, too vital, to be kept hidden in the shadows of her attic. With a courage bolstered by the mirror's warmth, Ellie carefully descended the attic stairs, the mirror cradled in her arms like a fragile beacon of hope. Her grandmother, always keen to Ellie's unspoken emotions, watched with a mixture of curiosity and concern as Ellie placed the mirror at the heart of their living room, its surface catching the dying light of the day, and casting ethereal patterns against the walls. "Grandma," Ellie began, her voice steady despite the fluttering in her chest. "This mirror, it's not just an ordinary mirror. It's special. It shows you the happiest moments of your life." Her grandmother, a woman whose face bore the gentle etchings of time and whose eyes held stories untold, approached the mirror with a skeptic's caution turned to wonder. As she peered into the glass, her weathered features softened, giving way to a joy that Ellie had only seen in faded photographs. Tears, unbidden and unabashed, carved pathways down her cheeks as she turned to Ellie, her smile a silent testament to the mirror's magic. The following morning, with the rumor of the mirror's magic now a whisper on the lips of Merryworth's residents, Ellie opened her home to her neighbors. It was a decision born not from a desire for acclaim, but from a heartfelt wish to share the sliver of happiness she had found in a world that had grown too accustomed to graze. One by one, the townsfolk crossed the threshold of Ellie's home, their skepticism a heavy cloak that they, unknowingly, were ready to shed. The mirror waited, patient and unassuming, its surface calm and inviting. The first to step forward was Mr. Thompson, the town's gruff postman, whose frown had been as much a part of him as the bag he slung over his shoulder. As he looked into the mirror, the lines of his face relaxed, and a laugh, deep and genuine, broke from his lips, echoing around the room, and igniting a spark of curiosity in the eyes of the onlookers. Word of the mirror's magic spread like wildfire, its flames rekindling the embers of joy and wonder that had long lain dormant within the hearts of Merryworth's residents. Ellie watched, a silent guardian of the gateway to happiness, as her home became a sanctuary for the weary, a place where the burdens of the present were momentarily lifted by the joys of the past. The mirror, with its gentle glow and warm embrace, became more than a relic. It was a symbol of hope, a reminder that beneath the layers of sorrow and weariness, there remained a core of joy, pure and untarnished by the trials of life. The inciting incident of the mirror's magic had not just set a story into motion, it had begun a transformation, a reawakening of a community bound by the shared threads of their happiest memories. As the days unfolded in the wake of the mirror's revelation, Merryworth began to stir from its long slumber. Ellie's living room, once a quiet, unremarkable space, transformed into the heart of the town, a place where the air buzzed with the energy of rediscovered memories and rekindled hopes. The magic of the mirror did not wane. It grew, as did the line of townsfolk that wound its way through Ellie's garden and spilled onto the street. Each person who stood before the mirror found themselves enveloped in the warmth of a cherished memory, a moment in time where happiness was as palpable as the air they breathed. The mirror asked for nothing in return, offering its gift freely, a beacon of light in a world that had grown too accustomed to the shadows. With each reflection, the fabric of Merryworth began to weave itself anew. Neighbors who had once passed each other with nothing more than a nod, now shared stories and laughter, their conversations, a melody that filled the streets. The local cafe, long resigned to the silence of its patrons, buzzed with the lively chatter of community members eager to discuss the magic that had touched their lives. Children, their imaginations ignited by the tales of the mirror's magic, played in the streets, their laughter a symphony that danced on the wind. The park, once a forgotten stretch of green, became a canvas for picnics and gatherings, a place where families and friends came together, basking in the joy of the present, their worries momentarily forgotten. Ellie watched, a humble custodian of the miracle that had unfolded in her living room. She saw Mr. Thompson, the postman, who now greeted each mailbox with a smile, his laughter a familiar sound that echoed through the streets. She saw Mrs. Baker, who had once hidden behind the counters of her bakery, now standing at the door each morning, sharing stories and pastries with the children who passed by. But it was not just the laughter and the conversations that marked the transformation of Merryworth. It was the subtle changes, the warmth that settled like a soft blanket over the town. The once dilapidated buildings were touched by the hands of those who now saw beauty, where they had once seen decay. Murals began to color the walls, each stroke a testament to the town's renewal, a celebration of the joy that had been rediscovered. As the communal gathering approached, the excitement within Merryworth reached a crescendo. Plans were laid, decorations crafted, and dishes prepared, each a labor of love, a contribution to the tapestry of community that the mirror had helped weave. The square, long deserted, was transformed into a vibrant stage, set against the backdrop of a town reborn. Ellie, her heart brimming with a mixture of pride and nervous anticipation, prepared the mirror for its unveiling. She understood the mirror's power, not just in its ability to reveal the past, but in its capacity to unite, to heal, and to inspire. It had become a symbol of Merryworth's resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there exists a light, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to illuminate the path to renewal. The rising action of the story, the gradual awakening of Merryworth, was a testament to the enduring strength of community, the unbreakable bonds of shared memories, and the undeniable power of hope. It was a prelude to the climax, the moment when the mirror would reveal its magic to all, a culmination of a journey that had begun in the quiet solitude of an attic, and had blossomed into the collective heartbeat of a town reborn. The day of the communal gathering dawned bright and clear, a fitting backdrop for what was to become a pivotal moment in the history of Merryworth. The town square, once a mere crossroads for hurried steps and downcast eyes, had been transformed into a canvas of color and life. Stands adorned with handcrafted goods lined the perimeter, while the center stage, draped in vibrant fabrics, awaited the guest of honor. The enchanted mirror. Ellie, her hands trembling slightly with the weight of the moment, watched as the townsfolk filled the square. The air was thick with anticipation, a shared breath held by a community on the cusp of something profound. The mirror, veiled beneath a cloth of deep crimson, stood silently, its presence a beacon drawing everyone closer. As the clock tower chimed, marking the beginning of the festivities, Ellie took her place before the crowd. The faces before her, once marred by the shadows of resignation, now shone with the light of rediscovered joy. It was a mosaic of hope, each piece a testament to the journey they had embarked upon together. With a voice steadier than she felt, Ellie addressed the gathered crowd, her words weaving through the air like threads of silver. She spoke of the mirror, of its mysterious arrival and the magic it had unveiled. She spoke of the memories it had rekindled and the bonds it had strengthened. But most of all, she spoke of the resilience of the human spirit, the undeniable strength that emerges when hope is rekindled. As her speech drew to a close, Ellie reached for the cloth that veiled the mirror. The square fell silent, a collective breath held in anticipation. With a gentle tug, the fabric slipped away, revealing not the mirror, but a cascade of shimmering shards that clattered to the stage floor. The mirror, the heart of Merryworth's awakening, lay in ruins, its magic seemingly shattered with its glass. A gasp rippled through the crowd, a wave of disbelief that crashed against the edges of the square. The silence that followed was heavy, laden with the weight of broken expectations. Ellie, her heart plummeting, gazed out at the sea of faces, searching for a lifeline in the tide of dismay. But as the initial shock subsided, a remarkable transformation began to unfold. Amidst the fragments of the mirror, small, shimmering pieces still glowed with a soft, ethereal light. The townsfolk, drawn as if by an unspoken command, stepped forward. One by one, they picked up the shards, each piece reflecting not just their own faces, but the shared experiences of a community reborn. The realization dawned slowly, like the sun breaking through the remnants of a storm. The magic of the mirror, they understood, had never been contained within its glass or frame. The true enchantment lay in the memories it had unearthed, the bonds it had forged, and the hope it had rekindled within their hearts. The climax of the story, the shattering of the mirror, became not an end, but a beginning. It was a moment of profound clarity, a revelation that the strength of Merryworth lay not in the magic of an object, but in the resilience, unity, and shared joy of its people. The mirror's destruction, rather than extinguishing their newfound light, had illuminated the true source of their transformation, themselves. In the quiet aftermath of the mirror's shattering, as the last echoes of surprise faded into the evening air, a palpable shift swept through the townsfolk of Merryworth. The initial shock, the sharp intake of breath at the sight of the broken mirror, gave way to a profound, collective realization. The fragments, scattered like stars across the stage, glimmered not as remnants of loss, but as beacons of enduring hope. Ellie, standing amidst the shards of what was once the enchanted mirror, felt a gentle hand upon her shoulder. Turning, she found her grandmother's eyes brimming with unspoken understanding and pride. Around them, the townspeople began to move, not away from the square in defeat, but closer, drawn together by an invisible thread of shared experience. One by one, they approached the stage, each person holding a piece of the mirror, their faces alight with a soft glow. They spoke, not of disappointment, but of gratitude. The mirror, in its brief presence, had awakened something within them, a reminder of the joy that had always existed in the corners of their memories, waiting to be rediscovered. As the stories flowed, a tapestry of voices weaving through the twilight, the fragments of the mirror were gathered with reverence. They were not mere pieces of glass, but symbols of the moments of happiness that, once remembered, could never again be lost to the shadows. The local artist, inspired by the unity and resilience of his fellow townsfolk, proposed a communal project. Together, they would create a mosaic from the shards of the mirror, a tangible representation of their shared journey from isolation to unity, from despair to hope. The idea was met with enthusiastic agreement, a chorus of voices rising in solidarity. The days that followed were filled with a sense of purpose and collaboration that Merryworth had not seen in generations. The townspeople, each contributing in their own way, worked side by side to create the mosaic. The pieces of the mirror, each holding a reflection of a cherished memory, were carefully set into a mural that depicted the landscape of Merryworth, transformed by the magic of community and the power of shared joy. As the mosaic took shape on the wall of the town square, it became a focal point for the townsfolk, a place where they could see their own stories reflected in the collective narrative of their town's reawakening. The project, born from the aftermath of the mirror's shattering, became a symbol of Merryworth's resilience, a testament to the fact that even when faced with loss, the human spirit, united in purpose and hope, could create something enduring and beautiful. The falling action of the story, then, was not a descent into despair, but a gentle settling into a new understanding. The people of Merryworth, once divided by the silent walls of their own isolation, found themselves bound together by the very event that could have spelled their return to darkness. Instead of mourning the loss of the mirror's magic, they celebrated the enduring power of their own collective heart, a force far more potent than any enchantment. As the final piece of the mosaic was set in place, a hush fell over the townsfolk of Merryworth gathered in the square. The mural, a kaleidoscope of memories held within the shards of the once enchanted mirror, stood as a testament to their journey, a journey from solitude to unity, from shadows to light. Ellie, standing before the mosaic, saw not just the reflection of Merryworth's transformation, but also the embodiment of a deeper truth, that the magic they had sought in the mirror had always resided within themselves, in the bonds they shared and the memories they cherished. The mirror, with all its mystique and allure, had merely served as a catalyst, revealing to them the power of community and the strength found in collective hope. As the initial silence gave way to murmurs of appreciation and shared recollections, the mosaic became more than a mere piece of art. It was a mirror in its own right, reflecting not just individual moments of joy, but the collective heartbeat of a town reborn. Each shard, with its unique story and memory, contributed to a larger narrative of resilience, a narrative that spoke of a community's ability to find light even in the darkest of times. The resolution of their story was not marked by grand gestures or miraculous occurrences, but by the quiet acknowledgement of their shared humanity and the strength it bestowed upon them. The mosaic, with its intricate patterns and vibrant colors, stood as a beacon of hope in the heart of Merryworth, a constant reminder of what they had overcome and what they could achieve together. In the days and weeks that followed, Merryworth flourished as it never had before. The square, once a place of passing, became a gathering point where stories were shared, laughter rang out, and bonds were strengthened. The town, infused with a new spirit, attracted visitors, drawn not by tales of a magical mirror, but by the warmth and unity of its people. Ellie, watching the ebb and flow of life around the mosaic, felt a deep sense of peace. The adventure that had begun in the dusty attic of her grandmother's house had led her and all of Merryworth to a place of understanding and appreciation for the simple yet profound joys of life. The mirror, in its shattering, had bestowed upon them a gift far greater than any reflection it had given them each other. And so, the story of the enchanted mirror of Merryworth reached its resolution, not in the restoration of a magical artifact, but in the realization that the true magic lay in the heart of the community. The mirror's legacy was not one of enchantment, but of enlightenment, teaching them that the most profound magic is found in the moments of happiness we share with one another, in the memories we cherish, and in the community we build together. In the end, Merryworth was no longer just a town. It was a testament to the enduring power of hope, unity, and the human spirit.